Harding, you were about to comment on your own workshop. Uh, what was the
Actually,
nature of that workshop?
okay, actually I wanted to make sure that that idea that was coming clear to me that we were trying to do, in a sense, the work of two energies going on at the same time.
Hmm.
So I wanted to make sure that I got a chance to express that and express my appreciation
Hmm.
for the fact that the veterans and the coalition for quality education as a constitutional amendment are trying to operate together,
Hmm.
are helping each other. So I have been primarily involved as a helper in this area of quality education as a constitutional right. And my workshop in that area has been around the idea that a quality education must include the preparation of young people to participate actively as democratic citizens in the creation and recreation of their society. And we have been asking the question, how can that be done? What is the nature of the educational approach or structures that could make that a natural outcome for the students of whatever age to, in a sense, have preparation for democratic participation.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It
Although
is.
it's, it seems as if it ought not be a problem as such, but
Oh, I think it is
the
a problem.
reality side,
I
yes.
think it is a problem if we have not given democratic participation a high priority in our thinking, but have primarily tried to think in economic terms
Mm.
of what kind of preparation will help people get jobs,
Yes.
then we do have to do some new thinking about what kind of preparation will help people to be citizens.
Hmm.
And for me, I don't see any future to democracy in America unless our young people are nurtured in the work of knowing how to build democratic communities. So that's, I think it is hard and difficult, but Mississippi for me represents the capacity of people to do very hard and very difficult and what has been defined as impossible stuff. And so I'm not thrown at all by the fact that it is difficult.
So were you encouraged by the responses that you received at the workshop? How did they take off on this, generally speaking, the mature veterans, and of course you had a very mixed group.
Yes, we
Uh,
had a good
okay.
intergenerational group.
Hmm.
And for me, that's a very important mix,
Hmm.
to have people who represent different ages and different levels of experience. And people got into that.
Hmm.
They were ready to take it on, to start thinking about how would children be encouraged to know that they have the capacity to build a more perfect union. And they began talking mostly about children being encouraged to know what their rights are. But we got more and more talking about children being encouraged to know what their rights and responsibilities
are. Yeah, yeah.
So
It goes. It's a two-way street.
Yes, it was a good discussion, and I think we crossed generational lines, racial lines, and I think educational lines as well. And I was very happy about the two sessions that I led. But then in addition to that, I attended the workshops just as a listener, and attended the one having to do with hip-hop, and the meaning of that experience and the development of that experience, and I found that very enlightening.
So now, taking off on that note, Dr. Harding, how should I say, planners or the conveners for next year, if they're going to pursue, should I say, that as a workshop, how could they maybe get, say, Jackson State student body more involved? Do you have a strategy that you could just sort of enunciate here as to how we could get more students, should I say, to come voluntarily without saying, we're going to give you a grade? You see, I said come out here arbitrarily because this way we're going to have class. So now, do you have some comment on how we can involve the student body a little more, say, in this conference if we sponsor it next year and get more participation by Jackson State students? Now, you understand who is here for the most part, but how might we pursue that?
I think one way that would be an easy temptation would be to shame them. But I don't believe in using shame very much. But I was struck by the fact that we had dozens of students coming from as far away as Minnesota, and almost no students coming across the campus. And I would at least pass out that information in preparation for the next time. I would also try to get the video record that was made, especially of the hip-hop discussion and of some of the other things that went on here, so that there could be a sampler made of what took place this winter, and use it as a kind of recruiting tool, especially in the work, showing scenes not only from the hip-hop group, but from some of the others. Like my group had a good many college students in the group. They were making very thoughtful contributions. I would use that in edited form as a sampler to encourage people to know that they have a responsibility and an opportunity to help move into some new space that is open for real youth participation.
You have been in academia a long time, Dr. Harding, and it has been sort of thrown out by the veterans that maybe the university might need to move in the direction of having a chair professor for civil rights documentation, something of that nature. Do you have a comment on that? Where that we set up all of these chair professorships and everything else, and and that might be a good approach for seeing that, say, Mississippi history is documented in a structured kind of way. Is that feasible, you think? You think the university could give justification for that?
Major convictions is that many universities, and not simply historically black ones, need to be establishing programs in what I would call democratic studies, computer studies,
You
all
have that
kinds of
major-
other studies.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Okay.
But we're living in what's supposed to be a democratic society and do very little teaching about what it takes in addition to voting, what it takes to develop the culture of a democratic society. And so I would think that that would come, for me at least, Brother Manuel, not under the more narrow category of civil rights studies, but under the larger category of democratic studies. And I think, yes, we need people who are focusing their attention on that subject matter. And I think that it could prove a very exciting kind of direction to go.
Do you know of say a university that might be already sort of moving in that direction?
Yes.
Do you, okay, give.
But I'm going to stop very
Okay.
soon after that.
Okay, sure.
I know that there's one such focus at the University of Illinois. At their main campus in Southern Illinois. I remember that University of Illinois at whatever it is.
It's about 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, the main campus though is the one that has a Center for Democratic Studies. There is also one at the University of Maryland. But there has been a growing number of centers for democratic studies across the country over the last 5 to 10 years. And I think that it would be possible to Google that, or it may even be possible that by now there may be some academic organization of such programs.
Are you, this is my last question, and here again it's about my own project essentially. Are you familiar with what we call the Robert Clark era in Mississippi politics, when that Robert Clark became elected as the first black since Reconstruction?
Just what I read from your
Okay.
brochure.
Okay. So you had no relationship with Robert Clark
No, I didn't.
in the post
Didn't know him
60s.
personally when I was working in Mississippi.
I certainly appreciate you taking the time to be interviewed, Dr. Harding.
I
This has
appreciate
been
your
most
patience.
interesting.
I'm glad for this chance, and maybe there'll be a chance for us to carry it on at some point. And hope that things go well as far as the rest of the
Thank you very much.
Okay. Now, where, and thank you, my friend.
You're welcome.
Where is this room that the veterans is supposed to be meeting in, do you know?
You can show it to me, no problem.
In the village. Again, welcome to Jackson State University. For the record, please state your name.
I'm Margaret Kibbe. Margaret Kibbe.
Right. How you spell that?
K-I-B-B-E-D.
Okay. Early in life, did you prepare yourself for a career?
Not really.
Okay. Now, do you have, later on, did you attend undergraduate school?
I went to college. I was taking liberal arts, but as far as exactly what I was going to do with it, I didn't know.
Okay. Now, your roots are not Mississippi at all?